Hi, Sagafi, Liberty Home Mortgage. And what am I talking about today? I am talking about what does an appraiser look at? In the housing industry, in the mortgage industry, when you're going for a mortgage loan, 9 times out of 10, you need an appraisal on a house. Actually, like 9.9 times out of 10, you need an appraisal on a house. Well, the question becomes, what does the appraiser do? I've had people on VA loans say, Hesh, I'm not getting a home inspection because the VA is doing an inspection. I'm not getting a home inspection because the FHA is doing an inspection. Nothing can be further from the truth, people. An appraisal is not a home inspection. Listen to me. An appraisal is not a home inspection. Appraisers do not run snakes and drains, okay? They don't open every single window in the house. They open a few windows, or at least they're supposed to. An appraisal, I hate using the word inspection because it gives you the impression that they're doing a detailed look into the mechanicals of the home. An appraiser is at a home for probably no more than 15 to 20 minutes. They are barely there for any length of time. Here's a question for you. How much can a human being see at a house, see what's wrong with the house, if you're there for 15 to 20 minutes, okay? You ain't gonna see nothing. The appraiser does not open all windows. They don't check every single outlet. They don't check to see if the outlets are grounded, okay? They don't, if the water's turned off at the house, they're really smart, they certainly do not turn the water on, not at the main at all, okay? They go into the bathrooms, turn on the sink, flush the toilet, turn on the shower, flush the toilet, a couple things here and there. They do not get on the roof and walk the roof. They don't go into crawl spaces and crawl on their hands and knees in crawl spaces. They do go into basements if you have a basement, but they certainly don't crawl underneath the kitchen cabinets where all the cobwebs are and dust and dirt and other stuff like that. They don't bring any type of units or things that check working systems or anything like that at all, okay? An appraiser simply does a visual observation. I like using that word instead of inspection because if I said a visual inspection, you're sitting here saying, oh, it's an inspection. It's a visual observation of the house. They walk around the house. Can they see knob and tube wiring? No, they can't see through walls. I've seen home inspectors with this little fancy gadget where they stick it on a wall or they take a pit, like they look at the wall and it shows where the heat's coming at. You could see how it's insulated, how good the insulation is and stuff like that. Here's reality. Hand that same mechanical device to an appraiser, they wouldn't even know how to turn it on. Neither do I, mind you. I'm not trying to say appraisers are not that intelligent. Appraisers are very sharp. They walk around the house. It is a visual observation of what they see in 10 to 20 minutes of walking around. So what does an appraiser do? The appraiser basically informs the lender that the sales price of homes in the local area supports what you're buying the house for. A lot of people become upset when they see the purchase price is $250,000 and the appraisal comes back at $250,000. And they're like, this appraisal's horrible. Like it should have come in for more money. There's equity in this house. Listen, man, whatever you're paying for the house, that's the value of the house. Got news for you. The appraisal coming in higher doesn't do anything for the loan. 9 times out of 10, the appraiser gets the purchase price because there's no need to get $1 higher. When you understand line adjustments and gross adjustments, an appraiser can adjust different amounts for certain things. I'll give you an example. Let's pretend you have like a deck in the backyard, okay? There's a really nice deck and the subject property has a deck and one of the comparables does not have a deck. Well, they're gonna go to that comparable and say, if the comparable had the same deck, it would add this much value to the home. 2 different appraisers are gonna put 2 different dollar figures on the value of that deck. One might say that deck is worth $5,000. Another might say that deck is worth $7,000. By making certain line adjustments with different dollar figures, they can maneuver the numbers into different values, okay? And 9 times out of 10, what you find is, whatever the purchase price is, that thing comes in for that number. If it comes in lower, it's a train wreck for everybody. If it comes in higher, it means nothing. The appraisal is used as a guide for the lender because the lender is loaning a ton of money on this house, hoping to God that if they do have to repossess the house, they can recover their money, okay? The appraisal is used as a guide, nothing else. So don't sit here and think like the appraiser is doing some deep inspection, I'm not going to get a home inspection. Appraisals are not home inspections, not even close. So to all you real estate agents out there watching this right now, and you're afraid, what's the appraiser going to do? Nothing that they can't see, okay? Whatever they see visually, if there's loose wires hanging from the ceilings, if there's outlets missing face plates, it's visual, okay? And it's common sense. If there's an outlet missing a faceplate and there's wire sticking out of it, I got news for you. That's a safety issue. You know what they're going to say? Put a cover on that thing. They're not electricians. They're not plumbers. They're not HVAC people. It's all visual. They're there for 10 to 20 minutes. Every appraiser should be met at the house by the real estate agent. So to every agent watching me out there, get your butts out there and meet the appraiser. Cut up your schedule and make the time for it. Meet them at the house. Walk around the house with them. They're human beings. You are allowed to talk to them. It's not against the law, okay? Appraisers do not take a deep dive on mechanicals and things like that, okay? They do a visual observation. So an appraisal is a visual observation of the subject property. They then go look at comparable properties. They do not go inside those comparable properties. For that reason, they make what's called an extraordinary assumption that everything inside of the comparable property is identical to everything inside of the subject property. That's why a lot of agents will say, Hesh, the subject property had all this new stuff in it, and I know the house they compared it to, it was a dump. Okay, they can't get inside of the comparable. Because they can't get inside of it, they have to make an assumption that the inside of that house is similar to the inside of the subject property. There's a lot of meaning behind a lot of things that they do that confuses people. But you keep watching these videos here. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you have questions or comments, put them in the box. I'll do my best to answer them, as I always do. Of course, subscribe to my YouTube page to watch other helpful videos. I do all these videos on mortgage lending. If you're looking to buy a house, watch enough of these videos. You'll start getting a pretty good idea of how this industry goes, and you'll start learning, man, there's a lot to this job. Hopefully you catch my next video, and we'll see you again.